Hey everybody, welcome back to the Daily Bern. Come on in. This is the war room of the political revolution. What this is a daily motivational, inspirational show for all of us that are out there every day fighting in this political revolution in order to change our government into one that works for the people. Please like and share. Get this out as far as you can. This message needs to spread. And comment. Any interaction in the show helps us do better in the algorithm and get out to more viewers. So take part in the show. I like seeing your comments and I love hearing from you. And I'd like this to be an ongoing discussion. But welcome back and thanks for coming to the Daily Bern. I'm your host, Sean Yankee. Today I thought we would talk a little bit about waiting. Now, sometimes good things do come to those who wait. Patience can be a good thing, but better things come to those who go out and get them. If you want something, you can, put yourself in the right position, put yourself in the right place, and wait. Be patient, hope that it comes. And a lot of times it does. Things have a way of happening. But if you really want something and you want to make sure that you get it, you have to do the work. Go out and do the work, put in the effort, and you can have those things. You can have those things that you want. You can do those things that you want to do. You have to put in the work though. You know, that's difficult. That's the hard part. It's easy to have a dream. It's easy to have a goal, you know, um, to want to do things. Of course, it's simple. To have a dream is easy. You can sit there and daydream all day long, but you got to put the work in if you want them to become realities. You know, there's the key. Dreams are great, but you got to put in the effort. You can hope and pray all day long that things line up, that things happen for you. And like I said, some will. But if you really want to do something, if you really want to make a difference, if you really want to go and get something, you've got to get up, put in the work, and do it. You know, and what we're trying to do with this revolution, we're trying to change our whole system of government. We're trying to rebuild it into something that works for the people. All of it. It needs to be torn down and rebuilt. That's a lot of work. That's a ton of work. And those of us that watch this show know, because I stress it every day, that this is our job. This is not Bernie Sanders' job. Bernie Sanders cannot do this on his own. He just can't. No one can. I was on a show uh, on Thursday. Gerard Kennett Hay, I actually said his name right this time. I was on his show, and he has a pretty large following. I've talked about Gerard before. I've never mentioned him by name, but he preaches non voting, right? Well, I was on his show to speak to his audience, go into the lion's den and speak to his audience about why I think voting is what we need to do and why I think it is important. And I have a retraction that I need to make from that discussion. I'm embarrassed about this, mostly because of how easy it was for my wife to tell me I was wrong. But while I was doing the interview on Gerard's show, I was in a confrontational part in the comments, and I said that Bernie Sanders is a dual citizen with Israel because I thought he was. And I only looked into it because people got upset. Now, I was upset when I first read it, and I saw it a lot of places. I'm ashamed to say I never looked into it. But when I first read it, I was mad. I was angry, and it took me a while to accept it. But I said it out loud today to my wife. I was playing her the interview, and she's like, "I don't believe that." And in 5 minutes, proved I was wrong. Bernie Sanders is not a dual citizen with Israel. So that is a big relief to me, for one. And for two, I sincerely apologize to anybody who saw that, and I'm ashamed of myself to have repeated that as a truth when it's not true. It's fake news, and I was misled. And I apologize, but I am extremely relieved because I thought that was going to be something we were going to have to deal with, and that it was going to be a big problem. And I hadn't really talked about it much on the show, but I had come to terms with it. As as hard as that is, that's like the worst thing he could do in my eyes is be a dual citizen with Israel, and I had accepted it. So I don't know what that says about me, but I'm so glad it isn't true, and I apologize to anyone who heard me say that. Bernie Sanders is not, I repeat, not a dual citizen. That is a made up story, that is propaganda. And I apologize for taking part in spreading it. But as I said, I'm very relieved that it's not true. I did not want that to be true. But let me get back to what I was saying here. But I was on Gerard's show, and we were talking about the importance of voting. Well, I was. And his audience, they were very fair to me. I was surprised. I thought I was going to get torn apart. But what I was trying to do is plant some seeds. I don't think I was going to change anybody's mind. I just wanted people to understand that we have to do this. Even if you don't believe in Bernie Sanders or the political revolution, we have to do something. You know, I like to reach across the aisle. I interviewed a Trump supporter this week, and did that interview with Gerard. We have very different views, both instances. That is what you got to do. You got to be willing to come together. Our strength is in our unity. You know, what we're trying to do here is going to take all of our strength, and our strength is in our numbers. We have to unify and stay together, not allow ourselves to be splintered, and stay focused on our goal. If we do that, if we do all that we can, if enough of us do all that we can, if we fully own this as our responsibility and really, really do the work, we can win. We will win. Now, I include a link in the description of every Daily Bern to BernieSanders.com. Please go there and see if there's any way that you can help out the campaign by maybe becoming a volunteer. There's almost 3 million of us volunteering to help get Bernie elected and move this revolution forward, or donate any amount you can, anything. Do not feel bad about even a dollar. We bought a politician. We've got to pay, we got to pay to play. It's expensive. There's a lot of big money against us. So if you can donate, please do. But just do all that you can. We can win this. We just have to do all that we can. Create opportunities to make change. Opportunities don't just happen, you create them. You know, an example that I use a lot on this show is a bumper sticker. Get a bumper sticker. Get a Bernie Sanders bumper sticker. I promise you, if you put that on your car, you will open up opportunities for yourself to have conversations with people. You will inspire people and not even know it just by driving around. I know I light up when I see one of those. When I see a Bernie sign or a Bernie sticker, I light up. I get excited. I point. It means something to me. It means something to other people too. That's what you do. You create these opportunities and you capitalize on them as much as you can. You make them happen. And then, you know, go that extra step. Someone might say, "Hey, is that your Bernie sticker?" And you're like, "Yeah." And that could be the end of the conversation, but take that extra step. Do you support Bernie? You know what I mean? Start that conversation. Be brave enough to do that. That's what's going to do this. This fight is really weird. We've never been prepared for it. We've never been trained how to do this. What we got to do is just move forward. There's no enemy in front of you. It's weird. It's not like any kind of fight we've ever been in, and we've never been trained for it. All we have to do is stand our ground. Stay together. Wake enough people. That's really it. That's all we have to do. We just stay in our convictions. We stay focused on our goal. Keep this revolution in your heart. and in your actions. Live your daily life. You know what I mean? Go about your daily business. No one has time to fight the government all day. Fortunately, we don't have to. It's mostly in your mind. Most of this is in your mind and in your mindset. Most of reality is, you can create your own reality. You do. Your reality ends up being what you tolerate. You eliminate things from your reality that you don't tolerate. You accept these things that you don't like. If you really think about it, the reason why they exist, the reason why these things that we don't like exist is because we allow them to. We don't have to allow them to. We've been convinced and trained that we're weak. We've been broken up into little groups to keep us that way. Divide and conquer. We have to rise above that. Enough of us. 3%. It takes 3% of a population to have a successful revolution. So 3% of us need to own this all the way. All of it, too. The bad and the good. We have to realize we are responsible for the way things are. What happened was we fell asleep at the wheel and we let greedy psychopaths run wild with our country and our economy and our government. And they bought it all up and they're using it all up and they're going to destroy it. They're going to run it right into the ground if we don't stop them. Luckily, we're being given a fantastic opportunity to stop them. And we are going to do all that we can to make sure that we stop them because we understand that we have to. We must. We cannot lose. This cannot fail. That's not an option. I am not allowing that to enter into my mind. People ask me all the time, well, what if this doesn't work? Well, what if we fail? I don't have any time for plan B right now. Plan B gets in the way of plan A. We adapt and overcome. We'll deal with that when we get to it. But I'm not planning to fail. I'm planning to win. I'm in this to win it. We're not here to back down. We're not here to negotiate. We're not here to find common ground. We're here to take this. That's what has to happen. We have to kick in the doors in the halls of power and take it. They will never give it to you. And they will fight you every step of the way. They will use their media to make it look like it isn't even happening. They will try everything they can to stop us. We just never stop moving forward. We never back down. We never break. We never allow them to break our will and our spirit. And we will win. And that's a fact. And that is how change happens. That is how change has always happened. It's the only way that change takes place, when millions of people stand united and demand it. That's it. It's no magic solution. Bernie's not preaching a magic answer. He's asking for something that is actually really big. He's asking for us to take responsibility, to take ownership, and to do the work to change this system from the corrupt, broken, rigged system that it is, and that it has become, and that we allowed it to become, to change that and restore it and build it into something that actually works to benefit society, works for the people, instead of the interests of the military-industrial complex and a handful of billionaires. And we can do that. As big as that is, we can do that. We are doing that. We are on the right path. And I created this show because there needed to be someone out there telling you that. A regular person, someone that people would listen to, not Bernie, one of us, saying we're on the right path. We're doing the right thing. This is the right direction that we're heading in. Keep going. Don't stop. Stay together. Wake up more. Get the others involved. Inspire them. Grow our movement. Do all that you can, and we will win. Not Bernie. Us. Well, thanks, guys, for coming to the Daily Bern. And if you shared, thank you so much. That helps us out more than you know. And this message needs to spread and get out there. So thank you. Next thing we're going to get into, I picked out a few news stories for you guys. So let's head over to the newsroom and check those out. All right. We're just going to start with a hit piece. The first story that I picked out today to look at is from the establishment shill rag, The Hill. We all know that that's a garbage site, but it says Bernie Sanders struggles to win over older voters. And I went ahead and picked this to talk about it because this is a lie that the media pushes that bothers me a lot. They try to say that Bernie's support is all young people, like right here. It says Senator Bernie Sanders has a major problem on his hands as the Democratic primary unfolds. He lacks support from older voters, a major and loyal voting bloc in the party. While Sanders has been successful in winning over young voters, both in 2016 and in this year's primary contest, recent polls show he's in desperate need of courting seniors. Listen to this. A Quinnipiac University poll out late last month highlights the conundrum. Sanders, who is 77, gets only 4% of likely voters over 65 support. Those in the senator's age group that support him is only 4% in this poll. Now, I think we all understand what polls are. Polls are garbage. Polls are more garbage than the Hill. These polls are rigged, and polls can be rigged to come out however you want. They can. So, and they are. Do you believe Biden is the front runner? They're still trying to push that. That man imploded months ago. Speaking of Joe Biden, this is from the Bern Notice. We try to work the Bern Notice in every day now. The Bern Notice is the Bernie Sanders newsletter. They take pieces in the media from all over the media, the stories that are buried at the bottom of the pages, and they highlight them. So this is actually an original piece. The Bern Notice also has original pieces. And this is the contrast between Biden and Bernie. Now, I read from this the other day, but I want to focus on one particular issue. Well, two. Let's make it three. I touched on Social Security the other day, but this article is about why it's important, the difference between Biden and Bernie. See, Biden says it's irrelevant. He says the differences between him and Bernie are irrelevant, but Biden has tried to cut Social Security multiple times. I believe at least three. And Bernie has always tried to champion and defend and expand even Social Security. And then climate change. Scientists are warning of impending climate disaster unless we reduce fossil fuel development. But Biden's judgment has led him to put forward a middle ground plan whose details allow for expansion of fossil fuel development. Plus, he's getting courted by big money in the fossil fuel industry. He got called out on that at the climate change debate. He was having a fundraiser with a huge oil lobbyist. But by contrast, Bernie's judgment has led him to propose a full-fledged Green New Deal, a $16.3 trillion Green New Deal, to transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy. And then the big one, healthcare. This is a deal breaker for me. Any candidate that does not support Bernie's version of Medicare for All is done with me. I cannot support you. It's a deal breaker. I am not negotiating or budging on healthcare. And in the face of a healthcare emergency, Biden's judgment has led him to promote a health plan whose details leave millions of Americans uninsured. And by contrast, Bernie's judgment has led him to push for a detailed Medicare for All plan. See, there's a huge difference between Biden and Bernie. And Sirota from the Bern Notice wrote this piece, but the media is not going to talk about it. Read the Bern Notice. Check out the Bern Notice for real news. Okay, so we're doing a hit piece sandwich today. We're going to close out the news segment with a hit piece too. This is from Fox. And I've noticed they've been featuring this for 2 days, so I'm going to watch it. Apparently, Bernie told a baby to be quiet. So let's check it out.
No bawling for Bernie. The 2020 hopeful tells a crying baby to pipe down on the campaign trail. Watch this.
Did I hear you correctly say that you have to cut your pills in half for your son? Okay. Okay. If we could keep that down a little bit. Okay, thanks.
Senator,
quiet down, kid.
oh boy, Senator Sanders shut it.
Anyway.
He was in Epsom, New Hampshire,
Right.
and he is a politician that is not afraid to be himself.
Turns out Bernie Sanders is the baby whisperer. If elected president, he can Actually, quiet.
Wait, aren't they supposed to be kissing the babies, not telling them to be quiet?
That's right.
Quiet
He's unique
down.
in that regard.
Quiet down. I'm saying the same thing over and over again. Please.
That's the
What a bunch of clowns. I'm saying the same thing over and over again. Quiet down.
soundbite of the
He told them to keep the baby quiet. So what? These people are ridiculous. That's what passes for journalism in this country nowadays. That was what was going on in the news that I wanted to share with you guys. It's basically just different versions of those two hit pieces. And that was the news story I wanted to cover, just the differences. Biden says there's no differences. It doesn't matter. They're indistinguishable. There's huge differences. Biden is completely out of touch with reality. But let's get into Bernie events. I always let you know what's going on with the Bernie campaign. If you want to stay informed with what's going on in the Bernie campaign, text Bernie to 67760. That will enroll you in the official campaign texting program, and you will receive text alerts when there is relevant information to you in your area about the campaign. Or get the Bern app. You get that anywhere you get a phone app. That one also counts you as a supporter statistically. So get that. That's good. Or watch this show every day, and I'll tell you what's going on with the campaign. The next big event with the campaign is they are having a big rally on the 9th in Denver, Colorado, which I'm not going to end up getting to go to. But I am going to hit a rally this time around. I did not get to go to any rallies ever since the very beginning of supporting Bernie. I've never gotten to go. And I could have went once when he was here in St. Louis, but I didn't want to go by myself. But this time I don't care. I will go by myself. You know, I will go by myself. I want to go. I want to experience one. And I wish I could have gone to this one in Denver, but it's going to be really cool. And I'm going to try to do a live watch party of the rally. That's what's going on with the campaign. The campaign's doing an awesome job. We just need to do our part. They're doing all they can. I can't really think of anything more Bernie could be doing right now, or the campaign could be doing right now. They're doing fantastic. They've started out their own newsletter. They're campaigning their butts off, man, all over the country, doing 8, 9 events at every stop. He's doing great. We do our part, we win this. This is ours to lose. All we got to do is all we can. And try to do one thing every day that scares you. One thing you don't like doing. Challenge yourself. Set little goals for yourself. Be realistic with them. Don't set goals. Don't set yourself up for failure. But let's say you're afraid of talking to strangers. Try to force yourself to have an interaction. You know what I mean? Put yourself out there. That's just one example, but anything that you are intimidated of doing, or that you think might help, but you just don't feel like you could do it, try doing it. Maybe it's setting up a table, somewhere and talking about Bernie. Tabling. I'm going to do that. I want to do that. I'm dying to do it. I got to get me a table, and I'm going to get me some signs and stuff, but I'm going to do it. That sounds fun to me. And it'd be a good opportunity to have conversations with people. I follow a guy on Facebook that does it, and he meets a lot of people, and not everyone supports Bernie. You got Trump supporters and stuff like that. You have all kinds of different interactions, and you get to reach out to people. You just set up tables at wherever you can set one up. There's places you can do that in public places. Just set up a table with some signs and talk to people about Bernie. Anything. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be something like that. You don't have to waste your whole Sunday or Saturday, but anything, little things, whatever. Just something that you don't normally do, you don't feel safe doing, do it. Just try it. Try something new. Those are the kind of things we got to do. We got to get creative in this fight. We have to, because that's how we fight this fight. This fight is weird. We fight this fight by inspiring and waking others, informing people, being leaders. That's how we do this. We move it forward by example. I think we need to stop arguing and bickering, etc. on Facebook and social media. Start listening to people. Start listening, figuring out, pick your spots, figure out what your opportunities are, be smart about it. We are intelligent, and it's time that we use that. We are in a fight, And luckily, our intelligence is an important tool in that fight. So let's get creative. Let's do things that scare us. Let's do new things. Let's try stuff out. You can't really mess up as long as you're trying. Try something out. Do something new. Challenge yourself. Because a lot of people give me trouble about doing this. Because I am the conspiracy guy. Wednesday nights, 9 p.m., Conspiracy Theories and Chill. I have the little conspiracy theory show. I talk about conspiracies. I look behind the curtain. I know how rigged it is. So people give me trouble. They're like, how can you do a political show? Why do you support Bernie Sanders? I believe in this movement. This is what needs to happen. This is how change takes place. Bernie is not lying to you. This is what you have to do. You want change? Millions of people have to stand united and demand it. Well, millions of people are standing united. How could I not be involved in that? Like I said, I'm not into politics. I believe in this movement. I believe in what Bernie is doing. I believe in the people, in the power of the people when they stand together. That's what I believe in. And I get this line thrown up to me. It's a George Carlin line. I'm sure you've heard it. It's a very famous line. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. Well, it is. And that's true. It is a big club, and we aren't in it. And they don't care about us. And we're not looking to join their club. That's the thing that I think even Carlin missed. We don't want to join their club. We want to kick down the door of that club and burn it to the ground. There's no room for that club. That club has done enough damage, you see. And we, the people, need to own the fact that it's our job to stop them. We have to own this fight 100%. And that's what we do here on this show, is we own this fight. So do all you can. Do all that you can. And we'll win. We will win. They're going to do all they can to lie to you, to deceive you, to break your spirit, to convince you that you're on the wrong path, that you're not going to win, that we have no chance. They're a bunch of liars. That's a fact. The media is nothing but weaponized propaganda designed to misinform, misdirect, and most importantly, divide up the people. It's garbage. Ignore it. Matter of fact, remove it from your life. Get that negativity out of your life. There's plenty of good independent journalism to support. And that's what we need to do, is support that. Support independent media, support independent journalism, support independent shows. That's how you do all you can. And all we have to do is all we can. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today in the Daily Bern and all this week. We've been doing great. The show is really picking up steam. I love seeing that. We on Friday's episode, we topped 100 shares. That has only happened 2 or 3 times, and that's amazing. I'm really excited to see that it's growing, and I thank all of you that support this show and are here every day for that. I know that it has everything to do with you. So thank you very much, and I will see you guys right here tomorrow for nope, not tomorrow. I forgot, this is Saturday. I'll see you Monday for a brand new episode of the Daily Bern. Keep fighting out there. See you Monday.